This is the accounts of a friend of mine here in Southern Oregon. Here is his statement. Out the back door on my way to the parking area between the house and the garage, I hear a jet in the night sky, and looking up, as I most often do, being in the flight pattern of Medford Airport, Oregon, I could see a 737, probably a United jet, flying due south right on pattern. But as my eyes focused on the jet, I could see there were extra lights within the airspace. 3 white lights and 1 red light, all forming a triangle pattern. Suddenly, and I mean within a split second, the triangle craft was directly over my house in Rogue River, almost hovering, but moving ever so slowly, probably 20 to 30 miles per hour. Looking up at the craft, I was stunned, of course, but I followed it as it passed over my driveway, now at about 1,000-foot altitude. I walked under it as it crept along while trying to discern the outside profile of the behemoth giant and wondering how it could stay aloft at such a low speed. Reaching the shadow of some trees across the street, out of the luminous brightness of the streetlight in front of my house, I simply stood there in awe, trying to hear some form of propulsion. It was almost silent, but as its red light passed over me at the tail of the craft, I actually heard a faint sound like an electric clothes dryer humming in the key of C, as most machines have. I stood watching it pass over the roofs and trees of my neighborhood until it disappeared in a foggy mist. Seeing the tail light fade, with a somewhat dazed train of thought, I got the paper towels out of the truck and went back into the house. I had thought of grabbing my camera just inside the back door, but I didn't want to miss 1 second of this experience, so I only have the sketch I drew. It was not an alien aircraft. This thing had General Electric all over it. The sound it made was like an anti-gravitational, electronically generated force field, U.S. Air Force. The white lights were too much like common aircraft lights, and the red light was exactly the color of lights found on communication towers, the ones usually flashing at night to warn low-flying aircraft, although this particular one remained lit and did not flash. Now, this is the account of my friend, who is a sane, reasonable person. My name is Bill Kiefer. I'm a former Air Force sergeant, security police, Strategic Air Command, 4 years in the Air Force, and I know that the Air Force is not too concerned about these UFO sightings, and I know there are things flying around up there, so who can figure? And also, if you want to ask a aerospace physicist about them, they'll all agree that you look at the solar systems out there, and heck yeah, there's a good possibility there are such crafts and people out there. We're not the only ones in this universe. Thank you for listening. My name is Bill Kiefer, MLSProVideos.com. Fact or fiction? You be the judge.